Hey, just Tom here again from Cajon-Eez. I'm just going to show you real fast. I've gotten some people asking about, I normally build this to mount on the right side of the cajon when you play it with your right hand. But some people ask about the left side. Also, I've already had someone already break an arm right here. And it takes quite a bit to break it there. Most likely, probably the lock was in place or something was jamming this cajon, the jingle, and they played it. So I'm also going to show you how to disassemble all this also. But first thing is, normally I usually have Velcro super glued to the back here. You can see I don't have it super glued here because this is one that I'm building. But I'm just going to show you if you did have Velcro on the back here. Stupid phone. If you did have Velcro on the back, what you would have to do is, and it's super glued on normally, you would have to kind of peel that, scratch away that super glue around the edge, just so you can peel this back enough to get at this bolt here, and I'll show you why. The first thing to do is to remove the cabasser on the jingle assembly. Basically, the nut, the washers, this whole thing comes off, and basically it's a plastic washer, a metal washer. Then you get this other plug on the opposite side that fits in the back side of the cabasser here. And then that's just the bolt pushed through here. It's a nice snug fit. You got two positions, so you can mount it on either side. So what you would do is you would push this out, tap it. I could almost push this because it's been in there, and put it in the other hole here, and you'd set up the whole jingle. But I'll show you now how to take apart the actual jingle. The actual pad itself is just on there. You'll notice it's on a neat little kind of tongue and groove, a unique V tongue and groove like, and it's just a screw, and you just kind of back off that screw, the screwdriver. I've got this one loose enough for my fingers. That's a short little screw, and that's basically how the pad comes off. You can put it on either way, this way or that way. The only thing is that the offset on it, if you try to put it on this way, this might actually hit your cajon on the side here. So that was one of the reasons I kind of made it a little offset. I didn't want the pad to be too narrow, so I made it, big enough, but just with an offset. Pull that off. The only thing that's holding this jingle arm here is this bolt that goes through the actual holder arm here. So all you got to do is just take this bolt out. It's a lock nut on the back side. Just pull this whole bolt out. There's the washer and the lock for that one. And then originally the way I made this is so that this jingle arm snaps onto this piece here. You could play it that way. Eventually, though, it does loosen up, I found out. And what happens is, to get this off, you basically put your thumb underneath it. Just give it a little tug. You kind of want to open this up a little. And it slides off the top like this. You can see it kind of snaps in. The easy way to get out is just kind of wiggle it a little up. And it comes off. You got to pull it straight up. There's a little groove on the a couple of guides on the posts here. You're just going to make sure when you put it back on there. So that was how it was mounted. To reverse it on either side, you just spin it around like this. And you do the same thing with the bolt. You would put the bolt going through it, put the pad back on it, and this would be mounted on the front side. Now be how you play it on the left side here. Some people asked about, if they break this arm, which I'm really hoping not too many people do. The way that you basically repair it is this cam here, there's a little rubber elastic band here that puts a little pressure on this just so that it stays in place wherever you set it. You can kind of pull that little O-ring off, tiny little O-ring. And then this novel little cam slide here, to get this off, it's actually, you hold it like this. You'll see that it's actually, there's a little lip on this side right here where my thumb is, and there's a little lip on this side too. And all I do is I put my fingers in as I'm pulling them apart this way. I'm going this way. As I'm pulling them apart, I'm gently pushing this whole slide piece through the jingle arm. And you should see, all I got to do is just push this through like this. It comes out pretty easily. Pretty complicated little piece. You would think that this would be the first piece to break. It's not. I've never broken one of these, amazingly. It's not used too often. You slide it up and down to clamp your cymbals, the little jingles, as much as you want. But to put it back in, you kind of just line it up, bring it down to the bottom as much as you can, and from the bottom up, you just push it up through. And you just make sure that the cymbals are behind the little cams. That's kind of the way it is. It's pretty simple once you kind of. So now to get the jingles out, the bad thing is that I normally do, because I've had these things fall apart, I don't put Loctite on this back little screw here. This is a little post that goes all the way through the cymbals and the washers. You got to back the screw out to get this whole pin out to replace these cymbals, you know, to put the cymbals on a new one. So what you really got to do is you got to kind of just chip away at the super glue. I put super glue on a little dab here, and I put super glue a little dab on the back of the screw. So what you got to do is scratch away that super glue enough so that you could try to start spinning this screw on the back here. And the screw, you know, lefty-loosey, so you just kind of loosen it up. There's the screw. Eventually the screw will come out. Just hold the front, or if you don't, that pin will come sliding out. You'll see when that pin comes sliding out by the bottom here, you can see it starting to come out. I'll pull that pin out and you'll see what happens. All these pieces come out. That's it. So if you break this piece, you'd grab a new one. And how you reassemble it is you push the pin back up through here just a little. Put your cymbal, one of the cymbals on. You got to just make sure the cymbals are facing the right way. Kind of concave, convex, and then a washer. Once you've kind of done it once or twice, it's not too bad. So that's one side, and then you kind of push it up a little more, and you start again. Put a cymbal. These actually are all the same cymbals right here, but normally I use two different cymbals types to get a unique clanging sound. You'll see what I mean. So that's it, and you put the last one in. And then now, what you got to do, the trickiest part, oops, I almost dropped it. The trickiest part then is to get this screw in the back here. And it's not as bad as it looks. Kind of squeeze it in there with your fingers, and then what I normally do is push it through, and I'll turn this guy a little just to get it threaded, and you'll see it's back on there again. You know, oops, no, it's not. So just make sure that's threaded well. And then what I do is with the screwdriver, I just take that screw and I just kind of spin it. And I spin it all the way down so it comes down on the bottom here. And I'll reapply super glue, just a little dab on both sides, just to stop that whole thing from disassembling. And then you do the same thing again. You reassemble it, put this guy back on here. Put your bolt going through back end and everything. Put this guy back on, just make sure the short side is on the Cajon side there. This piece, the plug. And you grab the kibosa, a little black washer, metal washer, and then the nut. So hopefully it's not, you know, real difficult to take apart and fix or repair. I'm hoping that not many people have to repair these. Main thing is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop printing up this little lock that I make. I kind of ship it with it, and I'm going to print it up maybe in red PLA plastic so that it's obvious it's red and you got to do something with it, you know, remove it or something like that. So that's it. Hope that helps you guys. I'll probably, if you really need to buy any of these pieces, you know, I think I've only broken one of these pad pieces by whacking it with my leg. I've broken one jingle here by playing it with the lock on. Amazingly, I've never broken one of these post pieces on the pad. I'm really, really surprised. Doesn't take a lot of stress. And I never spun off a kibosa, so that's a good thing. All right, guys, that's it. Long enough video. I hope that helps you guys with all parts and repairing and disassembling and reconfiguring. All right, take care, guys.